Hi, I'm Avery Davidson. Thank you for joining us for This Week in Louisiana Agriculture. Kristen Oaks-White will join us a little bit later in the show. Earlier this month, the House Committee on Agriculture announced a roadmap to address labor issues on farms. One plan in that roadmap is to re-examine wage calculations, which could be much-needed relief to farmers who have had to cut back on their workforce. TWILA's Josh Meeks visited one farm in Ascension Parish to see how labor struggles have a domino effect.
Things seem quiet right now on these 6,000 acres at Palo Alto, Inc. because all the work is happening behind the scenes.
It's wet. We had about an inch and a half of rain, so most of what we're doing is maintenance.
When not out planting, fertilizing, or maintaining fields of cane, beans, and cattle, the staff here is making sure equipment is in prime working order. The same can be said for the workers. Palo Alto, Inc.'s president, Bubba Lehman, doesn't see the H-2A labor program as a supplied workforce. Here, their family. That was an investment they committed to when Lehman visited his workers' families in their home village.
I've got a crew of about 10 guys, and of the 10, all of them except for one are related in some kind of way, come from the same village.
Palo Alto is fortunate. Lehman hasn't had to cut any of his workers due to the ever-climbing adverse effect wage rate. While it was initially designed to protect H-2A workers, the rules regulating the wage rate, as well as the rate itself, has priced out some farmers.
I heard from farmers and ranchers all over the country at the Labor Advisory Committee with American Farm Bureau that they have some of their workers that return every year, their H-2A workers, that are asking them, like, are you going to be able to continue to get us to come to work with the wage going that high? And I mean, the answer for some of them is no. They're having to cut down their workforce and just figure out how to do these jobs or, downsize their farm.
Katie Ramagos Nunez is the chair of the Louisiana Farm Bureau Labor Advisory Committee. She's seen firsthand how the adverse effect wage rate has been a double-edged sword.
It's supposed to be designed to where U.S. workers are not adversely affected by the H-2A program. And I think that's one of the biggest misconceptions when we go to D.C. to talk about H-2A and particularly the wage. There's not a U.S. workforce that are vying for these jobs.
Nunez says there is hope in a recent report by the House Committee on Agriculture, a bipartisan group that's recognizing the current program isn't sustainable.
It really is positive to see that we're on some kind of path to maybe at least getting around to the topic of making some substantial changes to the H-2A program.
Back at Palo Alto, Bubba Lehman recognizes his good fortune with not having to tell workers he can't hire them. But he also knows that no single farm exists in a silo. Any impact to his neighbors will eventually be felt here.
In the Louisiana sugar industry, the mills are responsible for hauling the crop. So when you affect the mill, you affect all the growers that ship to a mill, and it upsets the balance of the relationship between the mill and the growers. When they have to pay these exorbitant wage rates, that's really not in the spirit of what of the intent of this program is.
Now, the House Ag Committee's roadmap is just that, a roadmap. It's still going to take time and more work to get from point A to point B. Reporting from Ascension Parish for This Week in Louisiana Agriculture, I'm Josh Meeks.
We'll continue to follow developments on the H-2A labor issue as it comes out of Congress.